Good day, everyone. My name is John Michael Quilates, the leader of Group 6, together with my fellow members, Miss Eliza Joyce Manzano, Mr. Marlon Galang, Danir Casalda, John Ray Villanueva, and Glenn Escueta. We are here to discuss about Chapter 6, Emotional Interaction. In this chapter, we will talk about the emotions and the user experience, expressive and emotional design, how the appearance of interface can affect users, affective computing and emotional AI, persuasive technologies and behavioral change, anthropomorphism, and the pros and cons. Emotions and the user experience. User experience implies the emotions that users go through when they use a product. Depending on a lot of factors, they can be happy, satisfied, frustrated, overjoyed, or disappointed by the experience. User can also feel two or more emotions while using an app. HCI has traditionally been about designing efficient and effective systems. Now, more about how to design interactive systems that make people respond in certain ways. For example, to be happy, to be trusting, to learn, or to be motivated. Emotional interaction is concerned with how we feel and react when interacting with technologies. Affective computing is improving with better recognition, software, and machine learning algorithm. Um, Imagine a wearable technology that could detect how you were feeling and provide a certain kind of information and suggestions geared toward helping to improve your mood, especially if it detected that you were having a real downer of a day. If, would you find such a device helpful, or would you find it unnerving that machine was trying to cheer you up? Uh, Designing technology to detect and recognize someone's emotions automatically from sensing aspects of their facial expressions, body movements, gestures, and so forth is a growing area of research often called emotional AI or affective computing. Emotional interaction. What makes us happy, sad, annoyed, anxious, frustrated, motivated, delirious, and so on. Translating this into different aspects of the user experience. So, the emotional interaction mechanism explains how different emotions interact with one another. Emotions can increase or decrease the impact of other emotions. Emotional interaction is the term used to describe how one emotion excitement may influence one another emotion's activity. So, why why people became emotionally attached to certain products. So, uh, just like a real pets, cats and dogs, we became attached to them since the first day. So, seeing them in our interface makes us feel the what they call this, the nostalgia. So we call it Tamagotchi effect. The Tamagotchi effect is the development of emotional attachment with machine robots or software agents. It has been noticed that humans tend to attach emotionally to things which otherwise otherwise do not have any emotions. Uh, can social robot help reduce loneliness and improve well-being? Well, a study has found that social robots can improve mental health and have potential to reduce loneliness in older people, but I think it depends on how they interact with social robots. So, how to change human behavior through the use of emotive feedback. Try to remember the emotions you went through when buying a things online. How many different emotions did you go through? For example, the shopping online experience. First, there is the realization of needing or wanting it, and then the desire and anticipation of purchasing it. This is followed by the joy or frustration of finding out more about what products are available and deciding which to choose from potentially hundreds or even thousands by visiting numerous websites such as comparison sites, reviews, recommendations, blogs. The thrill of deciding on purchase may be quickly followed by the shock of how much it costs and the disappointment that you can't afford it. The process of having to decide again may be accompanied by annoyances. You can't find one that is as good as your first choice. You think about other options, such as seeking advice from an expert in a shopping mall, but you have an aversion to sale assistants and don't trust their advice because you think they have their own interests, such as making money, rather than yours at heart. So you carry on looking, getting more tired and frustrated. When you do make a decision, you experience a sense of relief. You click merrily through the various options such as color, size, warranty, and then the dreaded online payment form pops up. You type in all your details and press the final payment button. A window then appears saying that your credit card number is incorrect. So, you type it in very slowly, and you notice you need to type the three-number security code in again. Finally, when all is done, you let out a big sigh. But as you walk away from your computers, doubts start to form in your mind. Maybe you should have bought the other one. So, the experience that the user while buying online shows many emotions. How easy is it to design an interface to match or change how we are feeling? Should an interface be designed to improve how we feel? If so, how? Our moods and feelings are continuously changing. How does the interface keep track and know when to do something? What mood mo- what moods match which kinds of interfaces? How would you design an interface for when someone is happy, angry, sad, bored, or focused? Emotion is valuable to interface design. It is about presenting people with immediate information about the world. This is safe, this is not. The emotional system will have a direct impact on how the behavioral and cognitive systems operate and will help your users in decision making. How do emotions affect behavior and behavior emotions? Examine how people express themselves and read each other. Example, understand relationship between facial expressions, body language, gestures, and tone of voice. When people are happy, they laugh and relax body posture. When they are angry, they screw up their face. Does being angry make you concentrate better or more distracted? Um, Anger really makes you focus on one thing. Some experts say that the anger is the fuel to success. However, the anger is the anger also at the same time block your creativity too, since it releases different types of hormone. Meaning, anger can also make you distracted. When you are happy, do you take more risks such as spend more money or buy more? It depends, but having money makes people happy. Uh, Baumeister et al. 2007 argue the relationship is more complex than a single cause and effect model. Automatic versus conscious emotions. Emotions can be short-lived, for instance, a fit of anger, or complex and long-lasting. Example, jealousy. Emotions have been categorized as automatic or conscious. Automatic ones are rapid and dissipate quickly. Conscious ones develop slowly and take a long time to grow. For instance, reflection. Ortoni et al. 2005. Model of Emotional Design. In emotional design model, there are three levels of design: visceral, behavioral, and reflective. Visceral. This level of design refers to the perceptible qualities of the object and how they make the user-observer feel. For example, a grandfather clock offers no more features or time-telling functions than a small featureless mantelpiece clock, but the visceral qualities distinguish the two in the eyes of the owner. Behavioral design. Behavioral design is probably more often referred to as a usability, but the two term essentially refers to the practical and functional aspect of a product or anything usable we are capable of using in our environment. So, behavioral design is more on product usability. Reflective design is the highest level of emotional design, representing the conscious thought layer, where we consciously approach a design, weighing up its pros and cons, judging it according to our more nuanced and rational side, and extracting information to determine what it means to us as an individual. So, reflective design take into account the meaning and the personal value of the product in a particular culture. So, next reporter, please.
Good day everyone, my name is Eliza Judge H. Manzano. Claims from model. Our emotional state changes how we think. First is when we frightened or angry, we focus narrowly and our bodies respond by tensing muscles and sweating, more likely to be less tolerant. Second is when we happy, we are less focused and our bodies relax. Third is we are more likely to overlook minor problems and be more creative. Next is designing with the three levels in mind. We have three levels design which we call visceral design, behavioral design, and reflective design. One way of using the model is to think about how to design products in terms of the three levels. When we say visual design, it it refers to making products look, feel, and sound good. And next is the behavioral design is about use and equates to the traditional values of usability. Next is the reflective design. It is about considering the meaning and personal value of a product in a particular culture. So here is the example of using the three levels in mind in designing a product. So let's analyze a swatch watch design using the model. So at the reflective level, it is cultural images and graphical elements is design. So at the behavioral level, it is affordances of use. And the last is at the visual level, it is brilliant colors and wild designs and art attract users' attention. They are combined to create the distinctive Swatch trademark and they are what draw people to buy and wear their watches. Designers use a number of features to make an interface expressive, like emojis, sounds, colors, shapes, icons, and virtual agents are used to create an emotional connection or feeling with the user. For instance, warmth or sadness. It also elicits certain kinds of emotional responses in users, such as feeling at ease, comfort, and happiness. Expressive interfaces, it provide reassuring feedback that can be both informative and fun. It can also be intrusive, however, causing people to become annoyed and even angry. Next is color, icons, sounds, graphical elements, and animation are used to make the look and feel of an interface appealing. It conveys an emotional state. Um, in turn, this can affect the usability of an interface. Like people are prepared to put up with certain aspects of an interface. For instance, a slow download rate, if the end result is appealing and aesthetic. Next is the appearance of an interface. In the early days, emotional icons were used to indicate the current state of a computer or a phone, notably when it was waking up or being rebooted. A classic from the 1980s was the Happy Mac icon that appeared on the screen of the Apple computer whenever the machine was booted. Like for the example in the picture, which is letter A, the smiling icon conveyed a sense of friendliness, inviting the user to feel at ease and even smile back. Uh, the appearance of the icon on the screen was also meant to be reassuring, indicating that the computer was working. After being in use for nearly 20 years, the happy and sad Mac icons were laid to rest. Apple now uses more impersonal but aesthetically pleasing forms of feedback to indicate a process for which the user needs to wait, such as starting up, busy, not working, or downloading. Like in the example letter B, this includes a spinning colorful beach ball and a moving clock indicator. Similarly, Android uses a spinning circle to show when a process is loading. Other ways of conveying expressivity include the following, like animated icons. For example, a recycle bin, expanding when a file is placed in it and paper disappearing in a puff of smoke when emptied. Next is sonification, indicating actions and events, such as whoosh for a window closing, shloop for a file being dragged, or ding for a new email arriving. Next is vibrotactile feedback, such as distinct smartphone buzzes that represent specific messages from friends or family. The next is the design of thermostats. The popular Nest thermostats provides an automatic way of controlling home heating that is personalized to the habits and needs of the occupants. Where possible, it also works out how to save money by reducing energy consumption when not needed. The wall-mounted device does this by learning what temperature the occupants prefer and when to turn the heating on and off in each room by learning their routines. On the first picture, the Nest thermostat is more than just a smart meter. However, it was also designed to have a minimalist and aesthetically pleasing interface. It also elegantly shows the temperature currently on its round face and to which temperature it has been set. It also have large font and numbers. On the second picture, this is very different from earlier generation of automatic thermostats, which were utilitarian box-shaped design with lots of complicated buttons and a dull screen that provided feedback about the setting and temperature. It is little wonder that the Nest thermostat has been a success.
Good day everyone, my name is Marlon Vincent Galang and I'm here to report for Group 6. Annoying interfaces. There are many annoying interfaces that has gained the public's criticism. A primary example of this is the infamous software called A Home with Bob. It is a software that has a dog you can interact with and they will provide guidance. The purpose of making Microsoft Bob was to make a user-friendly interface. Microsoft Bob presented screen showing a house with rooms the user can go into. These contains familiar objects corresponding to computer applications, such as interacting with the desk with the pen and paper would open the word processor. But Microsoft Bob software was considered a failure. Not only was the interface slower and more confusing than regular Windows, but the QTC cartoons were annoying. Frustrating interfaces. There are many reasons why an interface is considered frustrating. Some of these are when the interface or application constantly crashes. Anyone would hate it if the application they're using keeps crashing to the point of no work getting done. If the interface appearance is bad, should be consistent and smooth without pointless elements in the interface. As seen from the image used as example, the left image has inconsistent color palette and font size. Lastly, when the interface is too complicated, like navigating through countless settings just to change font size or something like that. Error messages. Avoid using terms like fatal, invalid, or bad. This would most likely induce panic towards the user. Provide a straight to the point and helpful message. Error messages are supposed to be helpful and straight to the point instead of pointing out mistakes vaguely. Shouldn't sound patronizing or prickly. No one would like it if the system keeps blaming the user or is blatantly rude, just like the image provided as an example. Dilemma. Should computers say they're sorry? Reeves and Nass, 1996, argue that computers should be made to apologize, should emulate human etiquette. Would users be as forgiving of computers saying they're sorry as people are of each other when saying they're sorry? How sincere would they think the computer was being? For example, after a system crash, I'm really sorry I crashed. I'll try not to do it again. How else should computer communicate with users? Dilemma. Should voice assistants teach kids good manners? Many children talk to Alexa as if she was their friend. We also learned that it is not necessary to say please and thank you to her when asking questions. Is this lack of etiquette a problem? Would it transfer over to real-life situations? Affective computing and emotional AI. Effective computing is the study and development of systems and devices that can recognize, interpret, process, and simulate human effects. In a scenario where the user is depressed, the computer would be able to recognize this and would also be able to react accordingly and with personalized responses. The purpose of effective computing is to make interacting with computers more effective in the sense that they can respond in a human-like way. Techniques used. There are numerous specialized equipments and systems for effective computing. The camera detects facial expressions. Some famous SNS filters can detect facial expressions. Biosensors. Place on fingers or palms to measure GSR. Galvanic skin response, also known as skin conductance. Whenever we're stressed, nervous, fearful, psyched up, stoked, baffled, or surprised, the electrical conductivity of our skin subtly changes. Accelerometer and motion capture systems used to capture body movement and gestures. A human's habits and gestures are valuable information for effective computing.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Danirjan F. Casalda, and today I will be presenting Chapter 6B, Emotional Interaction. Classification of emotions. There are 6 core expressions typically measured, mainly being sadness, disgust, fear, anger, contempt, and joy. Types of facial expressions chosen by AI through detecting presence of absence such as smiling, eye wrinkling, brow raising, brow furrowing, raising cheek, mouth opening, upper lip raising, and wrinkling of the nose. Facial coding using Aptic software. Looking at the example, you can clearly see that the user is smiling, and the software then registers it and labels it as joy. How is this emotional data used? If the user screws up their face when an ad pops up, then they would feel disgusted. The same then goes with when the user starts smiling, then they would feel happy. Websites can adapt its ads, movie storyline, or content to match users' emotional state. If the system then is used in a car, it might detect an angry driver or a frustrated driver, then suggest that they should take a deep breath. Eye tracking, finger pulse, speech, and words/phrases are also analyzed when tweeting or posting to Facebook. Indirect emotion detection, also used more to infer or predict someone's behavior. For instance, determining a person's suitability for a job or how will they vote in an election. Do you think it is ethical that technology can read your emotions from your facial expressions or from your tweets? Persuasive technologies and behavioral change. Interactive computing systems designed to change people's attitudes and behaviors. A diversity of techniques now used to change what they do or think. Pop-up ads, warning messages, reminders, prompts, personal messages, recommendations, or Amazon One Click. It was also commonly referred to as magic. Nintendo's Pocket Pikachu. It was developed to change bad habits and improve well-being to children. It's designed to motivate children to be more physically active on a regular basis. The owner of the digital pet that lives in the device is required to walk, run, or jump. If the owner does not exercise, the virtual pet, aka Pikachu, becomes angry and refuses to play anymore. How effective do you think it would be? Can interactive technologies that monitor, nag, or behave like a human really keep them interested in looking after it, and in doing so, make themselves more fit? How does looking after a virtual pet change a child's behavior? Well, I for one think that these are the possible effects that might affect the child's behavior, such as emotional attachment, and happy Pokemon makes them feel good. Soaking Pokemon makes them feel bad. Plus, it also gives them a sense of responsibility by taking care of the Pokemon by doing exercise on a daily basis.
Good day, everyone. My name is Johnny Villanueva, and today I'm gonna tackle about tracking devices, sustainable HCI, the 3D Street project, and the phishing scam. First, tracking devices. Mobile apps designed to help people monitor and change their behavior. For instance, fitness, sleeping, or weight. Mobile apps now provided more support around improving our wellness by allowing us to track health and fitness achievements from anywhere. Additionally, they offer guidance on how to perform specific workouts and provided trainings. We can then follow from a mobile device. Next, can compare with online leaderboards and chats to show how they have done in relation to their peers of friends. And also apps that encourage reflection, which in turn increase well-being and happiness. Sustainable HCI. Sustainable human-computer interaction is a heterogeneous developing field of research typically focusing on persuasive systems designed to influence users to behave and live more sustainably. Sustainable HCI focus on designing tech interventions to help people reduce their energy consumption. An effective technique is provided homeowners with feedback on their consumption. Simple infographics and emotions are often most powerful. Encourage people to reflect and see what they can change to reduce their energy consumption. Peer pressure and social norms are also powerful methods. The Teddy Street Project. Large-scale visualization of the street's electricity usage. Stencil display on the road surface using chalk provided real-time feedback that all could see change each day. Reduced electricity consumption by 15%. Phishing scam. First, what is phishing? Phishing is a type of social engineering where an attacker sends a fraudulent, fake message designed to trick a person into revealing sensitive information to the attacker, or to deploy malicious software on the victim's infrastructure like ransomware. Web used to decide people into parting with the personal details. For example, PayPal, eBay, and you won the lottery allows internet fraudsters to access their bank accounts and draw money from them. Many vulnerable people fall for it. The art of description is centuries old, but internet allows even more indigenous way to trick people.
Good day, I'm Glenn Charles Escueta, and my topic is anthropomorphism. Anthropomorphism is a two-way process in human-robotic interaction. It represents the general propensity of people to exhibit traits that are distinctively human, including intellectual propensities that are human-like towards inanimate objects. The fact that AI's capabilities and advancements are routinely anthropomorphized is well-known fact. People frequently use anthropomorphism to understand and interact with the world around them. The notion remains the same, but how we assign human-like traits to objects has changed over time. Children frequently anthropomorphize because they are naturally curious about the world and it helps them understand their surroundings. Children may also refer to non-human objects in terms of human-like matters that adults would ignore. Some people have an anthropomorphizing tendency that persists throughout maturity. Pros of anthropomorphism. Anthropomorphism is a literary device that gives human attributes to non-human entities such as animals or inanimate objects. Anthropomorphism is the practice of giving non-human creatures and things human emotional and behavioral characteristics. Some people see this as a way to further the bond between humans and animals, demonstrate compassion for their pets, and take an interest in their welfare. Cons of anthropomorphism can mislead individuals into believing incorrect things, tempting them to share personal information with chatterbots. In both annoying and infiltrating. It can also lead to improper conduct towards wild animals, such as attempting to adopt a wild animal as a pet or misinterpreting a wild animal's activities. Robot-like or cuddly, which do you prefer and why? Most people like stroking pets and cuddling toys, and so will likely want to stroke pet robots. However, because they look and feel like the real thing, some people may find them a bit creepy. A motivation for making robot pets cuddly is to enhance the emotional experience people have through using their sense of touch. For example, the haptic creature is a robotic device that mimics a pet that might sit in your lap, such as robot or a cat.